All right, let's get started. Welcome to the November work session. My last, Samantha's last. All right. Uh, Student representative? No. All right.
Not yet. We did have a presentation. I hope all is well. We'll do
Yeah.
some
Maybe she's-
verifying and we'll check
Maybe
in.
she's, yeah, she might be running late. So we'll circle back because it's always fun to hear what's going on. All right, policies. Second reading,
No changes.
no changes. All right. Other presentations under the superintendent update. He's very excited. He's not presenting today, Stephen.
No, Dr. O'Toole has the honors this evening. I will have more of a thorough update as Dr. O'Toole takes the podium. We have been in the process of working on our student information system. And then we'll probably pause in a minute. Why don't we pause? I know our student rep is here. Hello, hello. I know you just walked in. Are you okay to take the podium and we'll pull up your presentation? So glad you're here. Come on up and excited to hear what's going on at our high school.
We started a minute early for a change. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we did.
I didn't think
7:30.
it was that early.
Yeah. All right, Anna. There you go.
Anna, last week or last meeting, we also heard that you won something in tennis. Were you the doubles champion for Chestnut?
Oh, yeah, I was.
that's
Congratulations. So I wanted to make sure we congratulated you. Well done.
Thank you.
Some guy snitched on you.
Oh, Justin. Okay. Yeah, it's good to be back, and I'm excited to share some high school updates. So first, I wanted to circle back to last time. I know I talked about the honors anatomy and physiology class, and I mentioned there was a heart dissection coming up. So I did go in and look at that. It was really fun. It was an incredible experience. And those are some pictures from the heart dissection that I think it was last week. But yeah, it was a great experience. It was very fun, and I learned a lot about the heart. And it was a reminder to appreciate my own heart after seeing all of the functions of like what a heart can do. So yeah, it was really interesting to learn about that. And we're really grateful to have such like a unique experience for our high school students to have like such a hands-on class that they can learn from. So yeah, that was fun to watch. And moving on to sports, our fall sports have officially all wrapped up. We in cross country, we had some pretty good results in districts. We have Kate Demidio in the top right, placing 36th at districts. Congratulations to her. And she qualified for states, which will be happening soon. So that's exciting for her. And in the bottom left, we can see some other cross country runners. We had Jonathan Bricker and Braden Barber place top 50 in the boys for districts. So that was amazing to hear about as well. And then our football team also had some pretty good results for their last game, which was also their senior night. They were able to have a win against Westchester East High School, and it's pretty good, especially for their senior night. And that day was also our marching band's senior night as well. And they have a pretty good season too. They got first place at states for marching band, and they got second place at nationals, which was this past weekend, which was amazing to hear about as well. And lastly, we have our boys soccer team who also made it to the state playoffs just like last year. So that was amazing to hear about as well. And next up, I wanted to touch about student council updates. We had our freshman student council election November 3rd. The candidates gave live speeches in the auditorium, and the freshman class was able to vote for the candidates. And we have our official class of 2029 officers. For president, we have Om Grogani. For vice president, we have Brooke Zabruski. Our treasurer is Miles Lehman, and our secretary is Yash Patel. So congratulations to all of them for becoming student council members for the freshman class. And I don't know if any of you guys went to the Drama Guild production over this weekend, but it was amazing to see. Yeah, it was a great performance. There are some really amazing actors, and they worked really hard for this performance. You could tell by like how well the crew moved with all the actors and how they were able to pull off such a great performance in around 2 hours. So that was amazing to see. If any of you guys went, yeah. And the spring play was also revealed to be The Lightning Thief based on Percy Jackson. So that will be happening sometime in the spring, probably around April. So we'll be excited to bring some updates about how that's going too. And speaking of performances, we do have another performance at our high school coming up. We have our orchestra, band, and choir music performance coming up on November 20th. It's at 6 to 8 p.m. in the auditorium. So, as a member of orchestra, I hope to see some of you there. We have some amazing performances coming, and I know that we've all been working really hard on our songs that we'll be playing there. So, I hope to see some of you there. And moving on, we do have some upcoming winter spirit events. I know that student council is doing a homeroom door decorating contest. That'll be in December, but we have some winter break spirit stuff coming up. So that'll be exciting to see. And that's all I have for today.
Thank you.
And a very, very
exciting.
good thank you. We
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thank you for the update. And just if you haven't seen Clue, I had the chance to go Friday. And one of the more recent changes that we've seen within the Drama Guild is they have two separate casts. So the cast that performed Friday night was one set of student actors, and then Saturday was a different set. And that gives more students that opportunity to shine on our stage, which I thought was really good. So I got to the Friday night, and I know
Yeah.
there was another group. So, and I had never even seen Clue the movie. So I got inspired and I watched it this weekend to see how much it
Yeah.
paralleled, and it really is similar. So I saw the play
Yeah.
first and then the movie. But
Oh, that's nice.
congrats to our Drama Guild and our new director. They had a great opening performances.
Just a second that we saw it on Sunday and it was amazing. And the stage crew was amazing because the way the sets continually moved was really impressive. So it was a really great show.
Yeah, I also went on Sunday. It was a great show. I went on the 2 p.m. one, and they had some great crew stuff going on. Thank you.
Okay, follow that up.
Yep. All right. So Dr. O'Toole's here. We are in the process. As you know, this was a district goal last year and extended into this year. We need a little extra time because this is a big shift. We were looking at new student information systems. And we do have a recommendation that we're going to ask you to act upon next Monday. So Dr. O'Toole's here to give you an overview of what you'll be considering.
Thank you, Dr. Cofredo. Yes, the presentation tonight is just to share with you the process by which we went through. Starting in April, you'll see we put out a proposal request for vendors within the country to share with us if they would like us to partner with them for our student information system. We had an RFP or request for proposal put out. We had 7 vendors submit their proposals to us. We narrowed that in May. Each of them had an opportunity to present a 30-minute presentation for staff to view and to provide feedback as well as to evaluate. And we narrowed that group down from 7 to 5. We told them we were not moving on with them and asked 2 to come in for a 2-hour presentation on September 29th. And they presented to a wide range of staff in the district representing all facets of the school district that actually interact and use the student information system, which pretty much is everyone. There is every individual, whether it be teacher, support staff member, food service, principals, pretty much everyone interacts in some way, shape, or form because the student information system is the lifeblood, the heartbeat of our school district with our students and information as it relates. We had a wide range of individuals indicate that they would like to participate. So it was by volunteer, and we had more than we could accept, but we looked for a range of by building, by roles, and had them evaluate 2 presentations. And they were here in the boardroom. And then based on that evaluation, we spent the time looking at those final presentation feedback as well as cost analysis. And we are making the recommendation to you to move forward with Infinite Campus. Infinite Campus by far was the most, the user interface even compared to the current Skyward system is light years ahead. Our current Skyward was implemented in 2006. So we are about 20 years into using the current Skyward, and we needed to move to this new system at some point because Skyward in its current form was no longer going to be supported by 2028. So we need a new student information system, and we use this as an opportunity to really look at what's on the marketplace and not just stay with a program just because we've been with them for 20 years, but really allow us the opportunity to look at what's in the market and what are enhancements for us. And Infinite Campus really did provide us with an opportunity to see what can be presented to the district that would be supportive of families, our staff, and our students. So that will be our recommendation for next week. And the implementation is really, this is just one phase of the process of selecting a student information system. We now have to work with then planning and rolling it out for the start of the 26-27 school year, which we are committed to do in Infinite Campuses as well, to begin the process of starting as early as next week. After you approve them, we would start sometime in the November 20th is actually the timeline where we would have our kickoff meeting. And then we would begin the process of working with implementation, data conversion, and all the good stuff behind the scenes, and then starting to look at a production system to start working in. And working with our high school staff would be one of the top priorities because of building schedules. We would likely use Skyward to have students request courses for next year, but then migrate the data over in the summer with Infinite Campus. Infinite Campus has worked with school districts that have converted from Skyward to Infinite Campus. I was told by our the vice president of sales from Infinite Campus that the project manager that we would be assigned has already done migrations from Skyward to Infinite Campus. So we're pretty confident in the work ahead and the timeline that they've outlined for us. And then obviously training and parent communication and all those soon to be pieces to this would be forthcoming once we have a student information system in place that we're working with. And that's it.
I assume kindergarten enrollment starting early next year they'll register in Skyward and then migrate all that new data over when we start school for that year?
I'm not 100% sure. We would be working with Infinite Campus to see whether or not we could, as part of their implementation, have next year's online registration starting with Infinite Campus, and then have that information migrate, because they wouldn't be students that would be starting for this current school year. It would be for next school year. So there's a possibility for students enrolling into the 26-27 school year that we could actually use Infinite Campus.
Okay.
But that would be more information on that. If a student is enrolling for this school year, we would keep them more than likely online registering through Skyward.
Okay. And will Infinite Campus have a mobile app? Is that a thing these systems
Yes,
provide?
for parents and students. For
Okay.
the staff, one of the parts of the staff is to have the full functioning program. So staff would not have a separate app. It would just use the web version, because as they've shared in their presentations, it's dynamic based on whatever device you're on. But for families and students, they would have an app.
Oh, go ahead. I'm so
No, you
sorry.
go.
I'm just curious of any integrations with some of these other tools like Parent Talk, like payment system, anything else. And not that it needs to happen now, but just as we go along here and get really smart with the technology and the ease of use for families.
Yeah, they would integrate similar to Skyward, where they would provide data to Parent Square. Because we use ClassLink, much of our integration is actually using ClassLink to synchronize our student information system to other programs. And we would work with them, and they've ensured us, other districts as well, do the same thing with either ClassLink or have a direct data file transfer that would be done. One of the aspects that we would then consider long-term would be other components within Infinite Campus payment is one of them. So there are other components that are not that we're not ready to start yet, and we don't know yet whether or not their solution is the best to meet our need. But they do offer, for example, messaging for families, but we currently are using Parent Square and we prefer the Parent Square. But long term, things could change in 10 years. So we can reevaluate all of those pieces. But the next phase after the heavy lift, which is the student information system and the integration potentially of looking at the special education aspects and things to that effect, would be to look at how to have one system as best as possible be the source. It makes just things more efficient for families. The data is cleaner, and we don't have to then worry about potential integration complications.
Yeah, I know we're not, this is just information and we're voting on this next week, correct?
Yes, correct.
What's the cost? I'm sure I know we need to replace and we have to spend money on it.
Yeah, we
I
have the
didn't see
cost.
this in the,
It's on the,
It's
Yeah,
on one of the
down
voting, or
finance.
not voting. It's going to be part of it's a separate item, I believe, from
oh,
the
it's a separate
presentation.
item further down.
Yes.
Okay.
10.08.
And then if we do add these other units to it, because I watched a little bit of the presentation, and I saw that, to me, it sounds like an advantage. Obviously, they want to sell more, that we buy all kinds of software, and if this could replace lots of things over time, that would be good. But do they charge you? I can assume they charge you for each additional thing, so it's not like
Yes.
necessarily a savings.
They
Yeah.
but at the same point in time, there may be, I mean, we've had internal conversations to look at what other types of programs could be absorbed if Infinite Campus were better suited for it. And more than likely, those, because they're integrated within the existing system, they would be not as costly as external systems that are sort of one-offs that you're purchasing because you need something on a separate, separate system to do it.
And I do see, I thank you for pointing out that we have the costs lower down there, but that's for the trial period. I'm curious, I mean, I know we have looked at a lot of different systems and there were two that, were the prices similar? I mean, how does this compare price-wise, not just for this trial period, but over time? How did this compare to the other options that we looked at?
The other options of all 7, or?
Let's say the last two, I mean, they had to be.
Yeah, I mean, they were very, it was sort of my analogy, and this is only mine. It's sometimes, it was like buying a car. When you go to Honda has this type of model, but Toyota has this model, and then Lexus has this model. And really, I have to give Cherie and Sue Chambers the credit to make the most sense of all the different features, what they call them, how they interact within the system, whether or not it's hosted, whether or not it's on premises, obviously all those pieces, to really then have that apple to apple comparison. And so when we looked, this was actually the apple to apple comparison as best we could see from the internal systems of hosting outside of the district, also, or cloud-based off-premises, which is really preferred, and then our special ed components and some other, the licensing on a yearly basis. This was the best option for us.
So besides features-wise, it was also, you're saying financially the best option? Okay.
Yes.
Any additional questions? Again, this will be up for next Monday's consideration. If you have other questions, feel free to send them our way, and then we'll make sure we have that information available Monday night. So,
I
one
do have
additional
one
question?
I'm sorry. So in terms of where this product is in its lifespan, is this something that is using newer technology so that we won't be having this conversation again in 5 years because this is being phased out? Kind of where are we with this? Are we thinking this is a little bit long-term or?
Yeah, I mean, in my personal perspective, I viewed this as a selection that would outlive my career. Not hopefully my lifetime, but my career. We adopted Skyward in 2006. It was a 20-year investment of a student information system. Student information systems are not things that are not software programs that you're going to just change out. There's a lot of investment in time, energy, training, support, understanding. I mean, we know we have staff members who've retired, and the legacy that they when they retire, the knowledge base that they have of Skyward is sometimes very difficult to replace. I would anticipate down the road, Infinite Campus will be sort of that process. It gives us a great opportunity. We're going to be starting this system new with everyone. And so everyone will have that opportunity to learn and gain knowledge. And we are investing in the professional development aspects that they have, the on-demand by role, so that everyone who's getting into this system can get up to speed quickly. But we also have the benefit of area districts around us that also use Infinite Campus. And so we can leverage, particularly in Bucks County, there are a number of different districts in Bucks County, not as many in Chester, but we can leverage the shared knowledge base from other districts, such as Central Bucks, which is very actually similar to us with Canvas. They use Canvas, they use Microsoft Office 365, they use Infinite Campus. They have a number of different systems that actually are almost identical to what we do. And so we can also leverage that shared knowledge base out there. But this is a long-term commitment and investment that I would anticipate.
All right, we appreciate your questions, and really, Steve, thank you very much. I mean, I'm sitting here in the boardroom. He had 30 different, so we had counselors, we had nurses, we had elementary teachers, we had administrators, we had middle school, high school. So really, it was everybody in the system. We got voice throughout. That's why we needed that little extra time. So thank you to the board for letting us extend this goal into the following year so that we could do it thoroughly and properly. I do appreciate that grace of time. And Steve, thank you for leading the entire project. Really appreciate it. All right. Mr. Barrett, next week, for my report, I'll bring two things. One is I'll bring a first draft of the district calendar. We can talk about that briefly. Typically, the board has approved that in December and January. So I wanted to get that in front of you. So we'll have that as part of my report. And we'll have another RFP drawing to fruition. This one is a reminder regards our summer camp and/or before and after care. So last school year, I asked the board if the administration could have a reprieve from hosting its own summer camps. It's very time intensive. It uses up a lot of administrative time and resources. You gave us that grace, which we very much appreciated. We went out to RFP, and much like the process Dr. O'Toole described, we had a lot of vendors. We narrowed it down. We did presentations, and I'll be bringing a recommendation to you on Monday, even though it's a business meeting. And the reason is we only have one meeting in December. So when we come back on December 1st, that'll actually be the voting meeting because we know we want to move quickly. If we're going to do summer camps, that catalog has to roll out in December. The board has set that expectation. So with only one meeting on December 1st, I do have to use next week's meeting to do some information sharing, let you ask questions, we'll get feedback, and then prepare for that voting meeting on December 1st, all right? So that'll be my report next week, Mr. Barrett.
All right, thank you. All right, under program, there's the monthly enrollment figures. Under facilities, there's the use report. Nothing under transportation or food. Moving on to technology.
Yes, under technology, 9.01 is the DocuSign annual renewal. This is for e-signatures. This contract will go from December 1st, and that will run through June 30th of 2027. That will allow us to be able to align that contract as well with the fiscal year. So it will have a slight increase from what you're used to seeing, but it's picking up that additional time frame as well. 9.02 is the Clear Touch board purchase. This is to purchase one Clear Touch board and 3 wall mounts. This is to replace a smart board that did die at the high school, actually a smart board and a projector that died in the classroom at the high school. So we'll replace that, and then it'll allow us to mount 2 Clear Touches that we currently have at General Wayne and Sugartown, because right now they're on carts, as you see here in the boardroom. 9.03 is Bloxel's quote. This quote is for a tool that the elementary students will use to build video games with character stories and game worlds. And this is a part of their curriculum content.
I have a question about the Bloxels.
Mhm.
I know we have discussed, the technology we use, and there's also a lot of parent conversation about us having Minecraft on elementary school iPad. So I'm curious, this sounds very familiar from my perspective to what a Minecraft might be able to do. So I was just curious if this is truly a value add, or if we could make use of either Minecraft or any of the other seemingly lots of apps that come home on my kids' iPads to accomplish the same goals. Is it a year-long project? If it's just for one unit, is it something where we could be more strategic with our resources versus introducing another app onto the iPad for, especially for our elementary students?
So to my understanding, it's a part of the curriculum content, and it is a project-based unit. So the students will have the opportunity to be able to plan, design, code, and it's part of that learning curriculum. I can go back and see if there's something else that could be used that we currently use in place of it. Oh, Dr. O'Toole's going to speak further.
And Dr. O'Toole, is this part of STEAM would be my follow-up question?
Yes, it's part of the second grade STEAM unit, and I had some time between the instructional subcommittee meeting and now to kind of look a little bit more in depth. We can definitely follow up with the STEAM teachers. It's part of the second grade unit where they sort of, as I looked at their learning unit, they progress from sort of games that you play by board and then transitioning into a technology, and so they use Minecraft in the unit. But really start to use Bloxels as it's a hands-on. There's a hands-on component to it first, and then they also can go into the software program. But it's to create, in essence, characters, a story into designing, in essence, a quote-unquote game for the second graders to understand how in essence, story development finds itself into that world of programming. And then at the end, after they explore Bloxels for a few lessons, they get into code.org, where they start to learn more about looping, which is code that they're using, and understand even how students can understand how they use code.org to help design games, in essence. But we can get more detail from the teachers to share with you by next week as to why that element is needed. But they are using other resources along with that in the unit, Lego models, and taking kids from a traditional sort of game board to then understanding pixels and blocks into Minecraft, but then understanding in this Bloxels how taking blocks can also create a game format instead of just the Minecraft EDU, which is really exploring building with blocks.
Yeah, and I guess I'm looking more for the unique contribution of this versus, because we do have other coding software, we do have other things. So just looking for the unique contribution of this program.
Sure, and we can get more detail on that and the physical components that come with it, with the kit that they're requesting, and the licensing for the software.
And is this something that once the unit is done, will they still have access to the app on their iPad, or will it go away when they're done?
I'm not 100% sure, but I can find out from the teachers and from sometimes, usually what ends up happening is that the apps are pushed out through ClassLink that are on the iPads for the students for that particular grade. They can recall those, meaning pull them back if needed, but I would have to find out if the teachers were planning on using it for other units beyond the unit that they identified here. Sometimes the students, I know I've been in some of the STEAM classes, and the students sometimes also have sort of an opportunity to continue to explore and do some things that they've learned from previous units later in the year. I'd have to find out if that's something where they would want them to have access to this after the unit.
Yeah, I'm just imagining, like, my kids were never like computer tech kids. But I know that, like, there's an issue with kids kind of overusing Minecraft and other similar games that were intended to be educational, but kind of wind up spilling over into increasing screen time. So my
Yeah, there is something that I've seen again I saw a first grade lesson last year, and some of this, and the teachers it was more web-based, sometimes web-based software programs that students were sort of looking at, that the teachers were navigating more so than the apps But yes, it's something that our teachers are aware of and make sure during STEAM class, they're using the programs that they're supposed to be using during that time.
Why only 300 accounts? Because there's more than that in second grade.
Yeah, I'd have to find out from the STEAM teachers as to how they calculated out the bundle for the three licenses, the 325 licenses. I'd have to find out whether or not they planned on, because we only have 3 STEAM teachers. So maybe while simultaneously working on second grade classes, I'd have to see how they're distributing those licenses.
I just want to make sure that we're ordering enough to cover, you know, the student population. That's all.
Right, from my read of initially, but I'd have to look, is that it's 325 student licenses. So based
But
on
then
how
the
many
next one
classes
says-
are running simultaneously, but yes, the school bundle is 300 student accounts.
Correct.
And I'd have to look to see whether or not they only needed to get the 300 student accounts for the game boards and the blocks. So I'll have to look into that a little bit more when I talk to
Right.
them. I learned of Bloxels last Tuesday for the first time and I wasn't saying it correctly during the in-service. I met with the STEAM teachers and they were collaborating K-12, but I'll dig a little bit more into it.
All right, thanks. All right, moving on to finance. Finance committee meeting report. Oh, there we go.
That's me because Wendy's not here tonight. The Finance Committee, which is a committee of the whole, every board member participates, met on November 3rd. The Act 1 index for the school year 26-27 is 3.5%. So Sheree, correct me if I'm wrong, we will vote officially by the end of December as to whether or not we're staying within that Act index.
December 1st.
December
the vote.
1st, we will vote. Yes, so December 1st, we will, as a board, vote to lock that in or not. We went over the budget timeline from now till the end of the school year. So preliminary budget ideally is approved by April 20th. We've been on time in the past. We don't see any reason for delay here. And then the final budget must be on or before June 30th, 2026. We are right now slated to approve a final budget as of June 1st, 2026. We looked at the local tax revenue projections for right now based on the Act 1 index and estimated assessed values. We looked at expenditure budget. We're starting to now dig into staffing, PSERS, health benefits. So this first meeting was sort of big picture, and then as the meetings progress, we drill down piece by piece to figure out where we're going to land by next June to make sure we are staying within our bounds as a district. And so many thanks to Sheree and her team for keeping us on track as we march down this path again. The next meeting will be held February 18th, 2026.
Thank you. All right, just take us down through the list.
Absolutely. 10.02 is the Immaculata University Facilities Rental Agreement. This is a renewal agreement to allow the swim team to use the pool facilities and the lifeguards. You will see a slight increase because Immaculata is requiring us to utilize 2 lifeguards instead of 1 for this upcoming
It's not such
year.
a slight increase. It's like a 30% increase. Yeah.
It's a requirement.
Okay.
In order for our swim team to be able to.
And
use
it's
it.
all, about it's because of lifeguards. It's not.
It's because of lifeguards
Okay,
and we
all right.
actually negotiated the price down.
Wow, okay.
So,
Wow.
10.03 is the Student Information System, Infinite Campus. This is for a 3-year term to begin December 1st, 2025 through June 30th of 2029. This is for the automated school management, student information, and database system. 10.04 is the Great Valley High School CPR supplies. These supplies are for the 9th and 11th grade health classes. The supplies will include multiple things such as training valves, face shields, training masks, and certification cards. This is to meet the graduation of the pathway under Act 158. 10.05 is the high school field trip. This is a field trip for the 11th grade and part of the 12th grade students to go to Hershey Park. This is a student-paid field trip, and this is scheduled to be on the 27th and the 28th of next year in May.
Can I just go back to the CPR one? If I'm reading that, if I heard you correctly. So does that mean, is CPR now required as part of health? Is that what we're saying? Like, because it says they have to have that CPR certification so that they're not without a pathway to graduate. So CPR is now great. I didn't, being the legislative liaison, I should know, but I didn't. I mean, that probably passed 5 years ago and they, implemented it takes them a long time, but.
Oddly
That's
enough,
pretty
Mr.
cool.
McCluskey being here, who helps to coordinate this, is really good at, this is one pathway. We have various pathways students need to follow to be, in essence, eligible to graduate. And one of the pathways is to have a certification, and CPR is one of those areas that we can ensure that all students have. That is one pathway that ensures all students, if other pathways are challenging, this allows us to have that student to be able to have that pathway completed.
But then this means that every student graduating GVHS will have gone through CPR training.
Correct. And
pretty
that's,
cool.
and
All
that's been a, I wouldn't say a goal, but it's an area that the high school team in and of itself has been working toward. And I know Mr. Casper, the Health and Physical Education Department Chair, has been pursuing this. And this is something that we're looking at expanding for students. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. I think that's a real point of pride. I agree. I mean, it does help with the pathway, but I think the fact that you're going to see all of our students trained, the high school's efforts on this.
And then just one comment on the Hershey Park trip. We are ensuring that it's a student-paid trip, so entrance fee is not a barrier to any students, and that they know that entrance fee is not a barrier.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Our high school makes sure they have funds to support any student with economic hardship, and they know to verify that. Yep. Thank you. That's an important question.
Actually, just to tag on to that, how is that communicated to the students? So
I'll have to double check with the high school how they do that. I just know they verified that they communicate, but I can verify that. I just don't know.
I feel like I've seen it in the form itself last year.
All right, 10.06 is the middle school field trip to Arrowhead. This is also scheduled for the 8th graders in May of 2026. There is a per student cost as well to attend the Arrowhead trip. Same things holding true, that there are resources available for any student who would be in need. 10.07 is the list of elementary field trips. As you can see below, based on grade, location, and what that cost will be. This is a district cost, and it is a grade per grade field trip. 10.08 is the educational service contract. This is a temporary contract, so you can see that the dates are in a shortened time period as well. And that concludes the finance section, Mr. Barrett.
All right, thank you. Nothing under other items, committee reports.
There was a communications committee meeting. I know Ms. Litsky couldn't be here, but I was copied on her email, so I'll just share very briefly. And I know Ms. Chazanoff was there as well. So the meeting was held on November 6th. Ms. Marston began by giving an update on our recent parent key communicator meeting. We shared that we had given technology updates. We talked about our approach to flexible instruction days, iPad use, digital citizenship, and AI. We also talked about some of the safety updates that have been communicated internally and externally to our various stakeholders. Ms. Marston also shared that the website now includes an FAQ portion that addresses many of the common and technical issues with FID days. And we also have a safety page that we continually update and populate. So she's made some great enhancements to our district website. And each and every meeting, she shares new updates. After that PKC update, Ms. Marston gave an update on the communications plan regarding our purchase of 41 Moores Road, also known as the former Teva building. In September, the district shared a letter to staff and families announcing the purchase. We updated the facility's website with the letter. There's a map of the property and also FAQs surrounding the purchase and commonly asked questions. In October, communication-wise, we sent a letter to high school families notifying them of parking in that lot. Once we own it, will be restricted, but that we will evaluate the status of parking in that lot and communicate by the end of February. So although we don't have a definitive answer, people were told when to expect an update on that. And then the final topic involved district update on our communication goals for the year. Ms. Marston reported that the annual report postcard was mailed to approximately 13,000 homes in late October. Data still being collected on the use of the QR code to view the report. So we'll see what the data bears out as far as the number of people that scan that QR code on the postcard and see if that's something we want to continue moving forward. So more to come on that. But I would say so far it has proven to be a valuable platform to share district-wide collaboration efforts, departmental updates, and even our staff achievements. Finally, the website continues to improve with some of the new drop-down menus by department. And believe it or not, we did not have a dedicated communications page, which is now up and running and populated. So I appreciate that good work. Some upcoming communications are in development regarding the district goals update. We have some safety communications that are in the pipeline, including an infographic page on how to use the GVSD communication platforms, who to contact, and the channels to use, even if you want to get in touch with PKCs and PTOs. So that was the meeting in a nutshell. I don't know if there's anything additional, but I think that was a pretty sound summary of what we discussed. All right. That's the update, Mr. Barrett.
All right, thank you. The board agenda, all the personnel items are listed there. Anybody's got any questions? All right, seeing none. At this point, I will open up the podium for any public comment on any subject. All right, seeing none. Board met in executive session to discuss information and personnel issues, and the board will be going back afterwards for some more informational issues. Any board comments? All right, seeing none. Thank you very much. Have a good week. Stay warm tomorrow.